What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers are currently trying to field offers and trying to make some sort of trade. The 15th is here, and Rob Pelinka has been doing his due diligence trying to find some trade that it will improve the Lakers. Bojan Bogdanovic is one piece that the Lakers have been trying to acquire. Also, a combination of players from the New York Knicks. There's also reports that the Knicks and the Lakers are currently the two most active trade people on the market, teams on the market, right? So they're actively trying to make some trades, some adjustments. The Knicks want to unload Evan Fournier and are willing to give up Cam Reddish, but teams want a first-round pick to take on Evan Fournier's contract, including the Lakers, and the Knicks are a little reluctant, but you never know. Maybe they would be willing to attach a first. They have a treasure trove of firsts. You take one of the least favorable firsts that they have, include that, and then maybe they're off to the races. But the Knicks and the Lakers are a team that have explored several possibilities in trades, whether it's, individually together or working on three-team possibilities. They are actively trying to get something done, but the Lakers want a first-round pick, take on Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish, which they should. You're taking on long-term salary. Evan Fournier is completely out of the rotation. He's a guy that is just, he's not what he once was. Now, is part of that the environment and just the position he's in with the Knicks? Like, could he get back to that as the Lakers? If he could, he'd be a very valuable piece for the Lakers. A guy, career 38% three-point shooter, 15 points per game. He's not a great defender, but he's a serviceable one and can do a sufficient job. He's got some decent size. Also, Cam Reddish would be a great, type of turnaround player that you could grow and develop, be a sizable wing, play both forward spots. That would be huge. There's even talks about maybe like Julius Randle being included, and the Lakers taking on him and Evan Fournier, and then the Knicks including a first for like taking on all of that salary. Either way, something like that could be in the works right now for all we know. And to kind of further add to this possibility and potential, we have odds, and right now the New York Knicks are number one favored to land Russell Westbrook. Now, there was the report that the Lakers are unlikely to trade Russell Westbrook, but unlikely doesn't mean that they won't, right? Unlikely doesn't mean that like it won't happen. It's just got to be the right deal. You get a first round pick, you get Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, and Cam Reddish. Now you got 3 firsts, and maybe you could take Patrick Beverley and Kendrick Nunn, and maybe take those pieces and go try to make another move. But according to our oddscheckers.com, they compiled all the sportsbooks odds, and it was the Knicks as heavy favorites to trade for Russell Westbrook. But also beyond the Knicks, you have the Indiana Pacers, who also make a lot of sense. They're second in line, 25%. Then you have the Utah Jazz, San Antonio Spurs, Charlotte Hornets, Brooklyn Nets, New Orleans Pelicans, Washington Wizards, and Phoenix Suns. In my opinion, I think Charlotte, San Antonio, and the Pacers are the most likely. I don't really see the Pelicans or the Nets doing some type of deal. I don't think the Suns would do it. The Wizards could be interesting. Obviously, if you could get, Kyle Kuzma, maybe a Kristaps Porzingis, that's something that has been rumored in the past, so that's a possibility. But I think very likely it's the outside of the Jazz, it's the Pacers, the Spurs, and the Hornets. I don't really see the Lakers doing a deal with the Jazz anymore. I don't think they want Mike Conley and stuff. Like, I just don't. Unless you're getting like Vanderbilt or something, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for the Lakers to explore a Jazz trade. But again, Pacers, Hornets, and Spurs could be a real option, and it looks like the Knicks might be a real destination as well for the Lakers to potentially do a trade. Now, personally, I am not very big on this. If you're getting a first, it'd kind of be hard to say no, right? Because now you have 3 firsts. You got Julius Randle, Evan Fournier, and Cam Reddish, right? You have 3 firsts. You have JTA, Damian Jones, Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn. Those 4 guys alone can get you, about a $30 million in salary with the 125% rule, just off the top of my head, something like that. Because, even if you wanted to go even further, you could even take like Troy Brown, right? Take Troy Brown, add him to the mix, because you basically be doing a 3-for-1 swap. So you got to unload guys. So Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, JTA, Troy Brown if you needed to, Damian Jones. Those are 5 guys that you could take now, and compile their salaries to go get 2 or 3 guys from a team. Maybe if you do this deal, maybe you go look at the Spurs deal. And now you have 3 firsts to maybe do that. Maybe you go get Jakob Poeltl, Josh Richardson, and, I don't know if the money works for Doug McDermott also, but, you go get 2 or 3 guys, or maybe go look at the Hornets. And now you have the Knicks first, you have, you have your own 2 firsts, you have a bunch of seconds, and maybe you could start piecing together another trade. If you were to do this trade, at this point you're going all in, so you might as well try to do something else. You're basically just unloading all your scraps, and the team is getting the assets, right? And that's what it is. Like, teams in general, because a lot of people are like, why would a team want to take the Lakers garbage and give you real players? Because they're not contending teams. It's not like the Suns are trying to give you Miles Bridges for scraps. Like, that's not what they're doing here. What they're doing is they want the assets. They are a tanking team that has all these veterans or salaries that they want to get off of, or a combination of the both, and they want the expiring deals that the Lakers have, as well as draft picks, right? Because they're a rebuilding, tanking team. So they want to unload their veteran guys and clear salary off the books, as well as get assets. And the thing that the Lakers have is they have a bunch of guys that are expiring contracts. Not many teams have that. Not many teams have, like $50 million in cap space that they could just unload, or more. I mean, you could get to essentially $100 million, so not many teams have that. And so that's why you hear the Lakers linked to all these tanking teams or all these just bad teams. It's not like they're linked to, the Warriors and they're getting, Klay Thompson or something like that. You're talking about teams that are tanking for Victor Wembanyama, that have multi-year deals, stuff like that. Like the Knicks, they're not a very good team. They're not winning anything, but they have long-term salaries in Evan Fournier and Julius Randle. My only concern is Randle's fit next to Anthony Davis. How does that work? Now, if you could, Julius Randle's played out of his mind lately. If he could continue to play that way, then I think he could be a real asset. And if Evan Fournier could get back to being, even if he's not 38%, just can he get to 36%, right? If he gets to 36%, then you got shooting, you got spacing, you got, some switchability, you got versatility. Now, Julius Randle isn't a great defender by any means, but he's a guy that you could run your offense through. He's a guy that I do have concerns about him and LeBron's fit as well. Also, Randle going from kind of the first guy to the third guy. I don't know how that would work. But, maybe a team would be interested in Julius Randle to clear off salary, if you could take on more salary, and take some guys, or maybe Evan Fournier, if you could, you got a guy that has multiple contracts, maybe they could take 2 contracts and send them to the Lakers and condense it into 1 for Julius Randle. And maybe the Lakers take on a little extra salary and also throw in a pick. That is something that could happen. Maybe you take Julius Randle and you send him to the Hornets, right? And you get back a Terry Rozier and a Kelly Oubre. And you're given, the Knicks first in that deal. And then you have Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish, Terry Rozier, and Kelly Oubre, right? There you go. There's 4 guys that could come in. Now you solved your wing depth problem. You got a scorer in Terry Rozier. You got options and you got flexibility is the point. Now, again, personally, I'm not really big on the Knicks trade. I want Cam Reddish. I would love Cam Reddish, but it seems like the Knicks really they want to. It's like if you want Reddish, you have to take Fournier. Right, and so that is a big thing. And that's kind of where I think the problem lies. Now, the Lakers are interested in Fournier, but for the right price, because Fournier is a big question mark. It could either go one of 2 ways. He could either continue to play the way he's playing, and then you basically got a guy that's just riding the bench that you have to pay for the next 2-3 years, or he ends up getting back to Orlando Evan Fournier, hopefully, who's a guy that just shoots the lights out, was solid, could shoot the ball, could be a real asset for the Lakers, and a guy that could start or come off the bench and be a real rotation piece for you, right? And he's got 6'6" size as opposed to, the 6'1" size, and you'd still have other moves you could make. If you did this move, it would have to be the end result, right? Like, what is the end result? If you went and trade for Cam Reddish and Evan Fournier, what is the end result, right? So if you're taking Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, and like say Damian Jones, and you're getting Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish, you have to now trade Russell Westbrook for something, because now you have 3 first-round picks and you have Russell Westbrook. You got it. Because Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish, you're stuck long-term salary. There's no guarantee Russ is going to stay. There's no guarantee that that you even want Russ to stay. It's just you might as well just go all in, push your chips to the table, go make a deal, go make a trade. Maybe since you have 3 firsts, maybe you could do the Pacer deal now and maybe get like a Brissett, something like that, and try to get another piece or two. I don't know. It gives you options. It gives you flexibility. Obviously, Cam Reddish, he would be nice. He'd be a great price, but he's a big question mark too. Like, why hasn't he been able to find a consistent role? Now, I think a lot of it is just circumstance. I think it's, Atlanta, he as soon as he was drafted, they immediately went and got 4 vets that basically filled his role and his needs. So they traded him to the Knicks, and Tibbs never even wanted him to begin with. And 3 weeks later, they tried to trade him to the Lakers. So I think that's something, and then, so environment, again, could be a real thing. These are 2 guys that are completely out of the rotation. But Cam Reddish, he's had injury history. He's had, work ethic questions, even dating back to Duke. So he's a real question mark. Could he turn out to be, a great Wayne Black? Maybe he turns into like the next Jeremy Grant or something like that. Sure, that's a possibility. Maybe he turns into even just like a Harrison Barnes. Sure, like that would be a good possibility. Solid player, a great rotation guy, but there's also the probability that you go and trade for him, and in 3 years he's still the same guy and he's just kind of a big body sitting on the bench. That's also a possibility too. Or he's a journeyman that's just getting picked up. You don't know. It's the big question mark. So the Lakers, I imagine they're going to continue doing the due diligence. They're going to continue trying to find a deal, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think the Lakers should do the Knicks deal? Do you think they shouldn't? Do you think that? Do you have some concerns that that's the deal that they're going to end up doing? Because that kind of seems to be the deal that's on the table that keeps getting brought up. We keep seeing that getting talked about over and over and over again. And usually when that happens, there's a reason. So we'll see. We'll see. Preferably, I'd hope it's like a 3-team deal, but who knows? Anyway, again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in